Hello and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. Today we have Kentucky Gentleman, introduced in 1949. That's right, 68 years ago. Kentucky Gentleman hit the market. It was higher than 80 proof back then, like most of these beers. Now it's saying on here since 1879. I'm not seeing that as far as trademark research, so I don't know if they're talking about Barton Distillery. I think they might be talking about Barton Distillery, established in 1879. Barton Brands was bought by Sazerac in 2009. So a lot of these companies will give a date, and it's not really when the brand started. Like they say on Jameson whiskey, since 1780. Well, that's when the distillery got started, but the brand didn't come out until the 1800s, like 1810. So you got to check sometimes these dates. And I think what's the case with a lot of them, even Schlitz, they always say 1849. For a long time, they were saying 1858 a few years ago, because that's kind of like really when the Schlitz brand came out, but this brewery started in 49. But anyway, it doesn't matter. So my research said 1949 for this particular brand, Kentucky Gentleman. Evan Williams, there's another example. It's going to say Kentucky's first distiller, Evan Williams. That's true. He was the first distiller that they have records for, we should say, actually. But this brand didn't come out till 1955. Same kind of story, 1955. This is the 80 proof version, okay? It's the charcoal filtered version. Sour mash, like the black label. When did the green version come out? I don't know. Could have been out from the beginning, 1955. There's no website information for this, okay? I looked all through the Evan Williams website, nothing. I looked at the Heaven Hill website, there's nothing. Only in the products list, which I'm sure most people would never look at unless they were a distillery looking to do orders, place orders. There is website information for this blended bourbon, however. You can look on Sazerac.com. You can look on the Great Bourbons website, which is one of their sites, their bourbon dedicated website. And you look on the Buffalo Trace website for that distillery. So it's in 3 company locations. All right. My prediction is that the Kentucky Gentleman is not going to be as good. First of all, it's aged 36 months. That's the same as the Evan Williams. So there's no difference there. But it's 49% grain neutral spirits, rectified spirits. Grain alcohol. It's only 51% actual whiskey. So makes you wonder. That is a class of bourbon, though. It's called blended bourbon. All right, let's see. I didn't answer comments last night on our Milwaukee's Best Ice Hangout, and I had mistitled it Ice House. I got confused when I was setting up the events. There was a problem there. I easily corrected that. I'm sorry about that. And then we got so caught up in the discussion, I was going to tell Eric Fraunfelter, Thomas Meadow 75, I was going to say, check the comments, but we just got too wrapped up in it, and I forgot. I felt bad about that. So if you commented and I didn't respond, it wasn't a case of trying to ignore you, is just we forgot. So I'm stuck in my throat here. Okay. Well, let's start. EW, Evan Williams. I just think the Evan Williams probably have a little richer flavor. and the Kentucky Gentleman will be a little bland. The price on these two is, oh, let's see, you can get the Kentucky Gentleman for about $8.99 for the standard size bottle. Evan Williams be about $2 more. So if it's $2 more, you would hope it'd be better. I might have enough Kentucky Gentleman for 2 more taste challenges, probably just one. Beavis Chukka says, good morning, Ron. When will I be able to join your live shows in your inner circle? Well, I guess you could join anytime you want. We just have to connect on Google Plus so I know how to invite you. Victor Quinlan says, good, awesome morning. Dignified, Ron. Dignified. Great, awesome liquor classics you're pulling out there. Cheers, Ron. JP, cheers back to you, Victor. JP Plummer says, good morning from Texas. Good morning to you. Michael Fournier says, good morning. Good morning, Michael. Victor Quinlan says, one of my favorites, ... blended whiskey. He might be sarcastic in that statement. Golden. They're both the same appearance. They're just straight golden. One I filled a little higher, so I'm going to make sure I don't look. That'll tip it off. The color won't tip it off. They're just clear golden, okay? You know, blended whiskeys, I've had a good number of them now, and they're okay. They're a little bland in the flavor, but I haven't really tasted one that was bad in the flavor. Like the flavor was bad, it just was dull. And then I tried some Jameson whiskeys last week, and I have some videos coming for that, and eventually those videos will get posted. That had a good flavor, an interesting flavor, but I found that the flavor was reminiscent of the American blended whiskeys in the sense that it was very light. Very light, even the Jameson Cask Mates and the Black Barrel. So compared to bourbon, it was much lighter. But I can see why some people would prefer that over bourbons, because bourbons have sort of that harsh flavor that would repel some people, right? Okay, let's go with the aroma. Trying to cover this up with my hand so I don't detect anything. That's sweet, charred wood barrel, dried flowers, maybe some dried fruit, like the fruit cake, but not gelatinized. In general, like they say on the U.S. government website, an aroma commonly associated with whiskey. Good morning from Tallahassee, Florida, says Skylar Fuller. Or good night if you work the third shift like me. Yeah, right. Lost says, good morning from Florida, buddy. Just got power back on out the storm. I'm glad to hear that. Kentucky Gentleman has too many neutral spirits, I think, says Michael. Yeah, 49%. Well, let's see if it makes a difference. Because now this one here in the aroma. Okay. Yeah. This one over here might be a little more pronounced. A little more pronounced wood, pronounced dried flowers, pronounced vanilla, pronounced charred wood. But it's not, you know what? There's no great difference. I'm going to say that the appearance was the same. I mean, exactly the same. The aroma is very similar. So $8.99 a bottle and $10.99 a bottle. But we're talking about 10 cents worth of difference so far. Now, of course, people don't buy bottles of whiskey so they can smell them. I think the goal is to drink them. My neighbor drinks Canadian Club blended whiskey all the time, and he gets the value size from Sam's Club. He even has those whiskey rocks in the glass. Yeah. We found that Canadian Club was the least appealing of all that we tried. Didn't taste bad, didn't smell bad, just didn't have much taste or flavor. Sort of like the the Michelob Ultra of whiskey. It was just so thin, so muted in its attributes that it didn't have much going for it. It was designed that way, however, so we have to be fair to the product. They double dip it. In other words, they age it in used barrels. They filter it twice in order to make it very light, because some people don't like those harsh flavors or even much flavor at all. Canadian's Mist is one of the most popular whiskeys in the world. It's been around for 50 years, and people like that. Gentleman Jack is the same concept. It's the muted Jack Daniels. It's sold at a higher price point than Jack Daniels, and all it is Jack Daniels filtered twice. And the man at the distillery, I was watching a video made at the distillery master, or it might have been the public relations director. He said it's like taking tea and then using the tea bag a second time and taste it. He said, make tea with a tea bag the second time, and what are you going to notice? Well, you're going to notice it has very little flavor. That's the concept behind it. That's not something that would appeal to me, but it does appeal to hundreds of millions of people apparently, or tens of millions at least. So, hey. And I can talk bad about Michelob Ultra all day long. I do talk bad about Michelob Ultra all day long. But go to an LSU football pregame over in Baton Rouge, and you will see so many people drinking Michelob Ultra, you wouldn't believe it. So I guess they got the last laugh, and somebody here on the internet, meaning myself, I'm not much of a factor, right? All right, so aroma is essentially a wash, not exactly, but essentially. So in a practical sense, there's not much, there's really no difference. All right, taste. Sweet, wood, a flavor commonly associated with whiskey, maybe a little char, dried fruit, little mint. It's fine, nothing wrong with it. It's the same here as over there, but just like with the aroma, it's more pronounced, more wood, or I should say a stronger wood presence, a stronger char presence, a stronger dried flower, stronger mint, etc., etc. Same body, same type finish, medium finish, you know, doesn't linger too long, doesn't drop off too quick. So I think this is the Evan Williams, and I think this is the Kentucky Gentleman. Morning, Ron, says Tour Nation Gaming, TNG. Hello, good morning to you. Victor says, Ron, how do you get used to the grain alcohol whiskey? What's the secret? You're asking, I didn't say I got used to it. I'm only doing these little taste challenges, so I haven't gotten used to anything. I'm not a whiskey drinker, so I'm just a taster. I don't have enough experience. I mean, they just tasted. I don't think it takes a lot of effort to get used to something that just doesn't have a lot of flavor. Anyway, 99% of people buying things like, what is it, Heaven Hill, Kentucky? You know, the one with it, they sell it all around here, the Kentucky whiskey. It's always $8.99. Some places $7.99 on sale. It's the standard Heaven Hill blended whiskey. It's called Kentucky whiskey, a blend. It's got like an old parchment, it looks, trying to make it look like an old country store sign from like 1850. They sell it like crazy. And T.W. Samuels, they sell like crazy. I've never tried that one. I have a bottle. But 99% of people buying those, they're making mixed drinks with it. They just want the 40% alcohol. And they probably wouldn't care if it was 100% grain neutral spirits, really. That's why the government requires it to be 20% pure whiskey. Only 20%, but it has to be at least 20%. If it's less than 20%, it's called spirit whiskey. By the way, some very famous whiskey brands or liquor brands are made with spirit whiskey. Like I saw a billboard, the Spirit of New Orleans. I said, that's a good play on words there, and that is Southern Comfort. The Spirit whiskey of New Orleans. Southern Comfort is made with spirit whiskey, which is only like 15% pure whiskey. Doesn't seem to hurt the sales because it's super popular. I've never tried it. It's more of a liqueur. It's like a flavored whiskey. It's a whiskey concoction. Legendary brand. Janis Joplin sure liked it. Liked it too much, I guess. Okay, I'm going to mix these again just to be sure, but I think I'll be able to get it. All right. Yeah. Oh. Huh. It's a little bit of orange peel there. Strange. Harold Carmoon says, just found you tonight. Thanks for the Steel Reserve 211 review. Oh, you're welcome. Was that the 6% or the 8% version? I've done both. We'll try tonight instead of my usual Mickey's Ice. Oh, you must be in Florida, huh? Or in Wisconsin, because that's the only two places I've ever seen Mickey's Ice Brewed Ale. Well, let me say this to you. True that, Ron. Whiskeys are popular on demand. Oh, I mean, we can roll our eyes at these cheap brands and ha, yuck, yuck, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, say no more, and look down on them. But the sales are there. The sales are there. Now, the counter argument would be, yeah, but that doesn't mean it's good. I understand that. I'm not going to say that a McDonald's hamburger is up to the level of Ye Old College Inn, but $5 is a lot cheaper than $11. It's it's the trade-offs. It's how you want to. I have no horse in the race. I've said this a million times. It's true. I have no horse in the race. I'm just drinking them and tasting them. I don't care who wins. There's no win. I don't understand that whole concept of winning. Somebody I used to be friends with on Facebook made the comment one time. They were talking about craft beer, and he said, "We're winning," meaning the craft beer movement. So what are you winning? You're winning because some people have a goal to be bought out and have a major cash out or selling more. I don't understand this whole winning, the whole concept of winning when we're talking about beverages, food and beverage products. I don't, but maybe I have some detachment or some I don't fit in or something. I don't understand. You know what I mean? I don't understand that whole movement thing, because even in the beer reviews, I'm just speaking for myself. I've always been kind of an outlier, like never quite fit in, because I don't get, or I don't grasp some of the concepts behind it. And I'm not saying that's good or bad. I'm just saying it's true, right? You probably noticed that sort of detachment or just not fitting in quite, because I don't get the whole thing. All right, vodka with Red Bull tastes amazing. I've never tried a Red Bull product in my life, but I know there's people that like it. I've had very little vodka. All right, let's call this. enough philosophy. But really, it is how I feel about it. I think some of the people that are involved with the Beer Talk 2017 with me on Facebook and Messenger, they're kind of like that too. They're sort of detached in a way. Like they do the videos, but they don't quite. They're like me. They don't quite grasp the whole concept of it. John Palriv says, good morning from Milan, Italy. I really like your reviews. Hello and good morning to you. You're over there in the afternoon now. John and Neil, good morning, Ron. I'm looking forward to trying the Evan Williams Green Label. Hey, we missed you last night, John. We were hoping you would join the Milwaukee's Best Ice Hangout, which I had mistitled Ice House. I understand what happened there. I knew what I was doing, but I thought I had set up both events, but I only set up the Ice House event, and I fixed it though. I mean, it was easy to fix. It just, people kept saying, you're doing the wrong beer. No, we were doing the right beer. I just had the wrong title. Yeah, I think you'll like Green Label. Although y'all might notice I haven't really been able to detect the big difference. Uh-oh. All right, we'll call it now. Yep. Sorry, I got an alert. Yeah, that was just me screwing up. Like, I had the two ice beers, the Ice House 5.5, and then the Milwaukee's Best Ice 5.9, and I just like got them. It's hard to set up these things actually because it'll actually switch the date back. If you don't do it the right way, it'll automatically do the date different. I'd have to show you what I'm talking about, but so that's part of it. But anyway, it's straight now. So we got Ice House next Wednesday, and then the Wednesday after is the 3-tier system, yay or nay, and I have no ideas past that. So that could be the end of Wednesday night hangouts. I mean, I'm not just going to do them just for the sake of doing them, and I'm not just going to start trying to make up things to come up with a topic. There's no sense behind that. I've seen that done with television shows. You've seen television shows where they get played out, but maybe the ratings are still good, so they say, oh, let's think of something. And then it really gets bad, right? Like you saw the classic example is Happy Days. They didn't know what to do, so they just start having aliens visit, and then these different girl rock bands show up. It gets really off track. It's so different than what the original conception. You saw that with the Jeffersons. They start having all these flashback episodes or these crazy episodes where they're like in a time machine back to the Middle Ages, and they're playing these parts using stilted Old English speech. Well, why would they do it? Well, they ran out of ideas. They couldn't think of anything else to do. So that was a series that went on years past what it should have done. Well, we're not going to get into television series theoretics, but so I'm not going to just do hangouts for the sake of doing them. There's no sense to that. Do you think they should bring back the 90s Budweiser beer label can in stores like they did with the Miller Lite cans? Says Victor. No, not necessarily. I think sometimes when you bring back the retro labels, it's an indication that you've run out of ideas and that you're grasping for straws. That's what Miller did because their sales had been dropping. So they figured, well, let's change the label and that'll create excitement, which it did for a while. And then that died off. And then it's sort of like back to square one where they were. So it's almost like an admission of failure or something. I think this is Kentucky Gentleman, and I think I better know it. I'm at the end. I'm not pouring more. And I think this is Evan Williams. But honestly, do the differences justify the $2 per bottle price? I'm not sure about that. I think the charcoal filtering does kind of add some character, and I don't know how it maybe cleans it up, cleans up the bourbon a little bit. But we're talking about 100% straight whiskey versus only 51% pure whiskey mixed with 49% grain neutral spirit. So very what do you say, perplexing when the pure barely outshines the adulterated, right? Okay, well, let's look at it. And I'll be shamed beyond belief if I get this wrong. I shouldn't be too shamed, since I just said for 30 minutes how I couldn't really tell the difference. Ha 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 ha. Awa chihuahua. Yeah, you know what I'm about to say. This is Kentucky Gentleman, and that's Evan Williams. I got it wrong. Oh my goodness. Ooh. People are saying, you open yourself up to ridicule. Now you're going to catch holy hell, unholy hell. Oh, well, you know, oh well. Somebody might say, what is your claim to whiskey expertise, fool? Actually, I've never made any such claim. Just because I make videos doesn't mean I know anything. I could literally be the worst judge of whiskey on the planet. I mean, that could actually be true. Well, it smells okay. Yeah, all right. Okay, I'm trying to smell straight out the bottle. Yeah, all right. Yeah, but out the bottle, this smells dull and that doesn't. I think that when they start to breathe, you see when they start to breathe that the more oaky characters of the Evan Williams dissipate. See, that's my excuse. Don't blame me. Don't blame me because I let the whiskey breathe too long. Hey, well, if you can let it breathe for 15 minutes and there's no difference in the flavor, you may as well save $2, right? Now you might say, you ain't never getting nothing free from Heaven Hill. You screwed. You're screwed. I didn't expect that I ever would anyway. Might be getting a lot of free stuff from Sazerac now, though, right? All right. Victor says the charcoal filter taste has that kick, like getting run over by an Amtrak train. I've never been run over by a train, but I have a lot of trains that pass by here, but they're only freight trains. Yeah. Does it have a kick relative to the other one? I don't know. I couldn't even tell them apart. Right? So, oh boy, 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 boy. Just goes to show you. Well, anyway, before you come at me too hard, hey, you got to man up. You got to do your own video blind taste test, and then you can come at me. I mean, in my own defense, I don't see too many people doing these. Dennis Day said you should do a review of Jim Beam Vanilla. No, I don't think so, because there's like thousands of non-flavored whiskeys that I could review that I would love to do before I did the first flavored one. Honestly, if I never try another flavored beer, I know I will, but if I never did, or a flavored whiskey or flavored bourbon, brandy, if I never try another flavored alcoholic beverage, it'll be too soon. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like them. So then I tend to be like hostile towards them, and I don't think that's a fair review when you start out the gate hostile toward it. And I know people like them. So I don't think it's fair to the product. And they got millions of people that love the Jim Beam Vanilla, and here I am talking about how it's so bad and it shouldn't exist and all that. Victor Quinlan says, great, awesome blind taste test, Ron. Thanks, man. Yeah, but I failed. I got it wrong. And what was my prediction? I was going to get it right. Sometimes you got to eat your words when you're doing a blind taste test. Boss Janssen says, do you like KBS? You like KBS, right? Oh, yeah, I know, and it's flavored. Yeah, it's true, right? You know, something about that one, though. It doesn't taste as flavored. Like it's, you know, you get most of these flavored things and they taste like fake or something. KBS tastes more like proper. You know, in the Samuel Smith's organic chocolate tastes more proper. Now, I mean, the Young's double chocolate stout and the banana bread beer, Wells banana bread beer, they're okay, but they're like novelty beers, and you know they're novelty beers, and they're designed to be novelty beers. So you can kind of, they're not designed to be everyday drinkers. Those are things that are sold so people can buy them and give them as Christmas gifts for some like unusual thing. No one's going to drink those on an everyday basis. But then Jim Beam Vanilla and Christian Brothers Apple and that Red Stag and all that stuff, those are made, the people buy those and drink those regularly. So see, I don't think I should be reviewing those. Dennis Day says, laughing my anatomy off. I hear you there, Ron. Got to keep it on even ground, brother. Keep doing your thing. I'm trying, but I'm starting to get very discouraged by doing these failures, right? I'm blind taste testing and I can't tell them apart. Either that shows that I'm a bad blind taste tester, or it shows that there's not a whole lot of difference between these different brands. What's the answer? I don't know. I don't know what's the answer, but it is the truth. I haven't been able to detect a whole lot of difference. All right. Well, anyway, thanks for watching this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. And the next one we've got coming, and I've got to set up the event and try to do it right, you know, so the wrong title isn't showing. It's going to be, so what do we know here? This was a tie. Nobody loses. Nobody wins. I mean, no, I couldn't tell them apart. It's going to be Evan Williams versus Ancient Age, another Sazerac product. Now, the company says from 1946. My research indicates that it's from 1936. I think Sazerac is wrong. I know I'm right. All right. Thanks for watching this video production. Goodbye, folks.